Well, Paeng, also known as Nalgae internationally, continues to pull away from the Philippines today. Plus, we're watching another storm system just towards the east of Mindanao. But overall, this one looks like it could fade out before it really impacts the coastline here. And that would be good news because boy, some widespread impacts being felt across the country. Upwards of 98 deaths at this time from Mindanao through central Luzon. Even northern areas of Luzon are still seeing serious flooding as water starts to drain out into areas of the Cagayan River. But these images just across the country show you what we're talking about. Catastrophic flooding and damages taking place here. Even we were talking about in the last several updates about that threat of a storm surge in places like Cavite City, and I've also been seeing that as well there across parts of Manila Bay. This is just absolutely tragic, guys. And I want to show you satellite imagery as this moved off here towards the west, because there is some question about why did a tropical storm cause so much more damage than a super typhoon. A big issue was the rainfall and just the girth of this storm system. As it neared, the center of circulation was still well offshore, but interaction with the shear line towards the north spread out that convection, and it brought heavy rain over the course of several days, just resulting in saturated grounds, more flooding. Then you got landslides on top of that, and rivers just kind of cope with more precipitation. As it tracked overhead, though, that shear line also kind of edged this further towards the south, impacting more vulnerable areas of Visayas, southern Luzon, northern Mindanao, where the Sierra Madre Mountains back towards north typically handle these storm systems. But really the big deal is just the overall size of this. Thousands of kilometers across. You had a lot of convection, a lot of moisture with it, and that is the reason why we just saw so much damage from this storm system, and unfortunately the deaths here as well. So my heart goes out to everybody recovering from this storm. Those of you that were impacted, really quite serious. All right, so how about our next one? Well, this is known as Queenie in the Philippines. This is also known as Banyan internationally. Starting to approach Mindanao. Plus, Nalgae is back here towards north, nearing Hong Kong. On top of that, now I do expect it to kind of edge just towards the south of Hong Kong, and as it intensifies, becoming a typhoon here. I mean, we're going to start to see it eventually begin to re-weaken as it interacts with dry air. But did you see that happen? With Banyan, Queenie, it kind of fades out according to JMA, and that's because dry air wrapping it around the northern periphery of that storm system, kind of keeping it on the weaker side. So let's take a look at both of these storm systems at the same time here. First, we're going to focus on our one back here towards the north, and let's talk about that interaction as it nears the coastline of China. You still have wind flow coming in back around Taiwan, and could definitely see some gusty conditions. I know there are warnings in place for parts of Hong Kong as well because of that wind increase, but definitely not going to see a full-on typhoon there. Then you have Queenie, and I know you're probably thinking, well, you said that our last storm system was going to stay a tropical storm and not intensify, and it actually did. It did stay a tropical storm, guys. Just the convection was spread out over a wide area, which is why you always got to pay attention to the full details of these updates. But with this one, there is still going to be an increase in rainfall for southern Luzon, northern Mindanao, just because, you know, that instability is there. You can see kind of a line being picked up out ahead of it. Already saturated grounds could result in more flooding, but overall this area is likely going to stay on the weak side because of an influx of dry air just on its northern periphery. So I'm not expecting this to rapidly intensify by any means or anything like that. And you can just see, watch this guidance as it moves further towards the west over the next 48 hours, almost just fades out. The convection pretty much kind of fades away. Yeah, we do see that increase in showers, though, and any increase in rainfall is not going to be very welcomed at all. I just want to go back to this really quick, that change in the track, and this is one reason why you always want to check back in for newer updates. In my updates leading up to this, I kept leaning west. It's one of those things we're going to have to really focus on and look back on as we go ahead, to be quite honest with you. The models did not handle this storm system at all. You sometimes just have to go with your gut, and this time I wanted to go with my gut, but you need at least some details to back it up. One thing we don't have out here in the Philippine Sea in the Western Pacific is typhoon hunters, if you will. And the big problem was initialization of data. We had an elongated circulation with that storm, and sounds like a lot of jargon, but there really is some true concerns with forecasting going forward, and something we've always had problem with in the years I've been forecasting. All right, so tomorrow we still got showers down there in Mindanao, Tacloban at 30, Rojas at 27. You know, we still got a little bit of inflow coming in from the west, so Manila could see some passing areas of rainfall. Iligan at 32. I know you're flooded because of the water release from upstream, unfortunately, all across the Cagayan Valley. Still seeing some serious flooding following the storm system as well. My goodness. So much to talk about, guys. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, though. Thank you for everybody that supports this channel as well. And of course, as always, stay safe out there.